So what we'll be doing today is we're going to be going through step by step of pulling a fire construction permit. The fire construction permit is basically for fire systems, fire alarm, fire sprinklers, two-way communication enhancement systems, etc. It will encompass pretty much any systems permit that you would like to pull for fire construction. First, of course, we'll go into our fire. You're going to go and log into the system so that you log into the ACA portal. We'll go into fire and we'll create an application. Read through the general disclaimer and accept. From the fire permits dropdown, you'll select fire construction permit and continue application. You give the application an application name. And a detailed description of work. And continue application. Punch in the street address of the location of the project. I start with either some numbers or a street name or a combination of the two to search. Less can be more in this particular option. Scroll down once you have chosen one and hit select. And it will complete the parcel information for you as well. The application information. So at this point in time, this is where you'll actually select from the dropdown which one of the systems that you'll be applying for. Whether it's a cellular communication module, which would be for a permit strictly for changing the method of communication to cellular or one-way radio, whether it's an underground main permit, a hood suppression permit. For this example, we'll go ahead and choose a fire alarm system. The work type, new, remodel, removal, repair, or replacement. And we'll enter the stated construction value of the project. If you have available a BC permit for informational purposes, you can include it here so that you can reference the general contractor's permit and that the reviewer can reference the general contractor reviewer. But as you see, it's not a required option. The custom list information. For each of the different types of permits, you'll be required to give some information about what you're doing on that particular project. So if you select fire alarms, you'll be required to open a row or several rows under the fire alarms tab, in which you'll describe the amount of the types of devices and the amounts of devices that you'll be including in this project. If you're doing a hood system or a sprinkler system, you'll open rows under the fire suppression tab. And if you're doing a two-way enhancement communication systems permit, you'll open rows to describe the amount of antennas or amplifiers that you'll be including on the project. For this example, we'll go ahead, since it's a fire alarm and I'll be required to do so, we'll open some rows under the fire alarms tab. Now I know I have 5 different types of devices, so I'll open 5 rows. And then we'll go ahead and select the different types of devices that we'll have on our project. Pull stations. This particular project would have smoke detectors, horn strobes, strobe onlys, and an annunciator. We'll enter the quantities for the different types of devices that we'll find on our project. And then we'll hit submit. Do a quick review just to make sure that your quantities are correct. And when this is complete, go ahead and continue the application. From the contact screen, you're going to be required to include at least one applicant. These will be people that will be contacted as to the status of your permit. You'll get emails as different processes hit milestones during the review stages. Go ahead and select from account or click add to create your own. You select from account, you'll be choosing particular applicants from a pre-created selection that you have under your employee. You'll need to include your license holder as well. For this particular one, we're going to use a certified alarm contractor. And in this particular realm, we'll be using a demo license for this purpose. But of course, you would use license holder that matched your license number for your company. And we'll continue application. Now, before we submit, we'll do a quick review of all the information that was provided. If you need to, of course, edit any of this information, you can use any of the edit tabs to change, add, or update any of the information that was provided. Go briefly over the terms and conditions again and click the I agree box to continue application. Now you'll be prompted to pay any of the initial fees that will come out. It'll give you a list of what those fees are and the total amounts, and we'll check out. And you'll be prompted to enter some credit card information. Of course, for this, we have a demo credit card page. And after a short while, it should process your payment and allow you to go on to the next step. And at this point, you actually have a permit in the system. We'll give you a permit number, and it will prompt you for the final step where you would upload documents for review. We'll go ahead and click into upload plans and documents. And on the far right side, you'll actually see where it has some requirements for documentation. So most of the fire construction permits will recommend you upload plans, submittal cut sheets, and calculations, depending on the work that you'll be providing. If you're pulling a two-way communication enhancement systems permit, you'll be recommended to include a survey so that it can be evaluated on whether or not radio compliance can be achieved in that building without a system to be added. So at the screen, you're going to give a brief description of the documents that you'll be uploading in the descriptions portion. And we'll hit continue. When you go ahead and drag over, you can either click browse and select individual documents and types of documents, or you can select the entirety of all the documents that you wish to include under this permit. And you select what each document type is for. But for this, I've actually included a set of plans, calculations, and submittals. The next step will upload and validate. Once all the plans are validated, we'll go ahead and process files. Now the validation process has completed, and it shows them all as status processed. Doesn't seem to be an issue with any of the files that I'm providing. We'll hit continue. I'll bring you to a page where it'll look at the plans over, and if it can determine the sheet numbers that you've provided, then it will go ahead and auto provide a list of those sheet numbers that it had acquired from the program. If there's any issues with it identifying those sheet numbers, you'll be requested to add sheet numbers or verify those sheet numbers yourself. In this particular case, it did manage to pull some sheet numbers down for me, so I will verify them and hit continue. And then I'll review all the information that I've provided here, and I will click finish. Gives me information about the permit that I just opened, including the permit number. And you'll have some access to the normal information that you would when you go to your home section of this permit and you're just looking up statuses.